Good morning. It is my pleasure to welcome friends, family, distinguished guests, our juniors, the Medfield High School staff, and the graduating class of 2023. Welcome to the Medfield High School Class Day ceremony. To get us started, please join me in welcoming Senior Patrick Brennan, who will be introducing the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Patrick. Well done. An event like this takes a lot of behind-the-scenes work from many people. Please join me in thanking Mrs. Moore Fitzgerald and the guidance staff for their hard work in making today's event possible. So thank you for your work. Without doubt, one of the highlights of our Class Day ceremony is the induction of the newest member of the Medfield High School Hall of Excellence. To make this presentation, I'm thrilled to welcome back a familiar face. Mr. Richard DeSorger is a proud MHS alum who taught for many years here in Medfield. He also served the community in many capacities, including term as council elected. A well-known historian and author, Richard was just the second MHS alum to be inducted into our Hall of Excellence back in the year 2000. To help us induct our two newest members of the Medfield High School Hall of Excellence, please join me in welcoming home Mr. Richard DeSorger.
First, a very sincere congratulations to all of you in the Medfield High School class of 2023 as you set sail into the open oceans of your future. Good luck, Warriors. Let me start by asking all those who have lived in Medfield all their lives, if you please stand up just for a second. If you've lived in Medfield all your life, you stand up just for a second. Okay, thank you. Be seated. You will have noticed that this year's recipients into the Hall of Excellence, Bob Meany and Bill Kingsbury, also stood. Both Bill and Bob are members of the Medfield High School class of 1972. They have taken what they learned and experienced inside the halls of Medfield High School, which was then located over what is now the Thomas A. Blake Middle School, and they have spent a lifetime using and giving that knowledge and giving back to their hometown community. Now, much has changed in Medfield in addition to the location of the high school since our two honorees graduated some 51 years ago. Thomas A. Blake was actually the superintendent of schools and not a building back then. Brothers Marketplace was a town icon named Lord's, which sold just about everything imaginable. And it contained the soda fountain with the swivel stools where Bob and Bill used to order lime rickeys and vanilla cokes and fraps. The police station was then on the first floor of Town Hall. The highway department and all its trucks were in the basement of Town Hall. St. Edward's Church was located where the gazebo is today. And what was, up until last week, Nosh and Broad, and will soon be another new restaurant, was the post office. Starbucks was Jack Squire's Colonial Mobile Gas Station. CVS was Medfield's first supermarket called Super Duper. Basil's Restaurant on Furry Street was a long-time town restaurant that featured some of the best homemade Italian food and was called the Francis Cafe. Will's Hardware was located inside today's Avenue restaurant. Shaw's was then a smaller building called Fernandes Supermarket. And today's post office was the site of a sort of shady Chinese restaurant called Sun Island that was visited by the Board of Health and raided by the police almost as often as it was open. And what is now Citizens Bank was then an ice cream shop called the Gay 90s. The FAP Center was, in 1972, the Medfield Youth Center, run by students, and they had weekly dances every Saturday night for high school kids before live bands. And Rocky Woods was then one of the best recreational areas in the state, with ice skating in the winter, hockey ponds, hiking trails up to an observation tower, actual downhill skiing with the rope tow, and paddle boats and rowboats in the summer on Chickering Pond. For 51 years after leaving Medfield High School, both Bill Kingsbury and Bob Meany became two of the best examples that I can think of what Thomas Jefferson called the active citizen. Bob went on to graduate from Northeastern with a major in criminal justice and became a police officer, first in Medfield and then in Wellesley, before returning to his hometown, becoming Medfield's chief of police from 2006 to 2018. He gave a total of 38 years in law enforcement. Service to others is just something in the Meany family genes. Bob is a fourth-generation Medfieldite. The first Meany came to Medfield as a newly arrived immigrant from Ireland 183 years ago in 1840. His name was David Meany. And he served his country in the Civil War and fought in most of the major battles of the war, including marching with General Sherman in North Carolina, where they came under heavy fire from Confederate forces. David Meany saw another Medfield soldier, Willard Holbrook, shot through the head by a rebel sharpshooter and go down. Meany, rushing through bullets, ran out into the battlefield and dragged his Medfield buddy back to the rear of the Union lines. Holbrook, however, never recovered. David buried his friend in that North Carolina battlefield. When David returned to Medfield after the war, he served as one of the town's first police officers. The newly arrived Irish Catholic Meany family was also instrumental in the founding of the Catholic Church in Medfield, St. Edward's. I earlier mentioned Rocky Woods. There was Bob's father, who was also active in maintaining and helping to run that recreational facility. And Bob's mother was one of the leading forces in the Medfield Historical Society, especially with the preservation of the peacocks. There is no doubt those service and caring genes continue on and are ever so present in Bob. As chief of police, he built ties with the schools and the town's youth. He was ever present at all the sporting events, school functions, especially the art shows and the high school musicals. The high school musicals have a special place for him, dating back to his time in Medfield High School when he played in the marching band. the concert band, and the stage band. And that musical education he received here continues with Bob today, being a proud bagpiper. As police chief, he encouraged his officers to get out and meet the community they serve. And his concerns with the stress and the hardships that many youths face led him to become an active member of the Medfield Suicide Prevention Coalition. Bob Meany and Bill Kingsbury served side by side as police chief and fire chief, tying their friendship into a mutual working relationship of public safety that so benefited the town in so many ways. The current public safety building is there today and was able to get community support and pass funding through town meeting because of the faith and the trust the town had in both Bill and Bob. Bill Kingsbury left Medfield High School and became a firefighter right out of high school. He gave service to his hometown for 45 years, from 1972 until his retirement in 2017. He started out working full-time in construction, in addition to his on-call firefighting duties. In 1985, he was promoted to lieutenant and then captain of the Medfield Fire Department. In 1989, he became the town's fire chief, in charge of providing Medfield with fire and emergency medical services 24/7. He served as chief for 28 years, from 1989 until 2017. He built up the department from an on-call department to a full-time professional one. He upgraded the equipment and modernized the firefighting vehicles. Now, Bill has always been one to shift credit given him to someone else. He built a reputation of staying out of the public spotlight. The service he gave to the town was always in a humble fashion. He just went out and did the job. As chief, no job in the department was too small for him not to do himself. He worked hand in hand with his fellow firefighters. One of the best examples I can think of what Bill Kingsbury is all about are the volunteer efforts he has given for over 30 years with the Medfield Home Committee. Medfield Home Committee started back in 1959 when an elderly driver put his car in drive rather than reverse and smashed into a young Medfield kid named Richard Johnson, who was standing outside the windows of the then Sears department store over at Natick Mall, crushing Richard's legs. The town sprang into action to help the Johnson family, and from those efforts the Medfield Home Committee was formed, and continues to this day, some 64 years later. Any town disaster, like a house fire or severe injury, the Medfield Home Committee responds. It is always without publicity, which is why maybe many of you have not heard of it. At Thanksgiving and Christmas, elderly, shut-ins, those facing sickness, receive cards with notes of support or friendship written inside. They receive home-cooked meals, baked goods, plants. All recipients remain anonymous, and only a few members of the Medfield Home Committee are aware of who receives this extra cheer. Contributions are entirely voluntary. There are no drives to raise funds in town. All funds are donated anonymously and always spent on Medfield residents. It is no surprise that Bill Kingsbury has been chairman of the Medfield Home Committee for so many years. This is typical Bill. You do the job, you help people in whatever way you can, you do it quietly, without publicity or outside knowledge. But Bill, we are aware, and this may embarrass you, but I want to publicly thank you for all you have done for this little town of Medfield. Thank you, Bill. Two townies, two lifelong friends, one who grew up on East Main Street and the other on Brook Street, forging a lifetime friendship and a lifetime effort of unselfish giving back to their hometown. It is a special honor for me to introduce the 2023 Hall of Excellence recipients from the Medfield High School class of 1972, Robert Edward Meany and William Albert Kingsbury.
Thank you, Richard. Appreciate it. Principal Parker and the selection committee, I greatly appreciate your consideration ultimately being selected for the Medfield High School Hall of Excellence. When Robert called me back in January, I couldn't imagine what it would be for. It truly was an unexpected honor. What was really special during the phone call was he told me that Chief Bob Meany, a great friend, classmate, and co-worker in public safety, would be recognized for the same honor at the same time. Bob and I had a special working relationship, and we knew we could count on each other to get the job done, no matter how big or small. That holds true to this day. When Bob and I talked, making some remarks today, he was knowing my love for public speaking, which graciously said he would take care of the lead and take care of it. I can always count on Bob on major incidents that attracted the news coverage to take care of getting any necessary information to the press. Truly made my job easier. I'm forever grateful for that. I'd like to thank members of my family for being here today. My wife Jean, my daughter Erin and son-in-law Kevin, my son Neil and daughter-in-law Megan, who's trying to get there this way. My sister Debbie, who traveled up from the Cape, and my brother-in-law Ray. And also shout out to my three special grandchildren who are at school today, Emma, Jack, and Connor. Bob and I would also like to acknowledge and thank the members of the class of 72 who are here to support us today. Sitting there is Gail, Nancy, Debbie, Steve, and Wally. Thank you for being here. It means a lot to us. There's a bond you develop with your classmates that stays with you. Our class celebrated our 50th year class reunion last fall and was attended by almost 100 classmates. It was an incredible event. Congratulations to the class of 2023 and best of luck to all of you in your future endeavors. Thank you.
Good morning. Just because Bill has deemed me to be the spokesperson, don't think this is going to be long. It's not. And the other good news is I'm not playing the bagpipes today either. Okay? But if you're down by Shaw's and you hear something that sounds like a bag full of very disturbed cats desperately trying to get out, that would be me playing. Okay? So we just get that settled right now. I'd like to thank some folks for being here with me. My wife Donna, who is over there doing filming, my lovely granddaughter Alex, my son David, a 2002 graduate, and next to her, his wife Lawrence Yezdini, also a 2002 graduate of Medfield High School. Thank you. So, Dr. Marston, Mr. Parker, Richard, thanks for the introduction. Nice job as ever. Medfield High School students, congratulations, class of 2023. Awesome job. This is like, woo, it's done. Got it. And fellow inductee and good friend, Phil Kingston. A huge and sincere thank you. This is a unique event for us. There was no Hall of Excellence in June of 1972 when we graduated. I doubt that either of us would have had the remotest thought of being considered for it, even if it did exist. And I can guarantee you that people over there in the back row, our fellow classmates, they're nodding saying, what? And thank God we're not no stories, no. We were simply glad to graduate and move on with our lives. Bill was a national for the fire service, so no surprise there. That I would then end up as a police officer wasn't on on any list that anyone would ever have for me. A year after high school, I ended up at a small college in New Hampshire studying English and music. By chance, she had an internship program with the Concord Police Department. We spent the midnight to 8 shift with an officer. It was different, so heck, why not? Often enough, most likely, when they're absolutely sick and tired of my questions about this, that, and the other thing, I will be dropped off to walk around the center of Concord, New Hampshire, and check doors. Don't ask me what I would have done if I found it open and out of that clue. And did I mention this is January, 3 o'clock in the morning, where the thermometer was absolutely struggling without age or GPS or anything to try to find 10 degrees. It just didn't happen. It's totally incapable. Yes, Paul. I can't explain why this scheme ended up seeming like a good career choice, but it did. So don't look for any stunning career advice here, but I can offer some thoughts and ideas on interactions with people. It's simple to state these ideas, but perhaps not always as simple to follow through. One of my favorite fictional characters, Albus Dumbledore, once said, "We must all face the choice between what is right and what is easy." First, how we performed our duties was obviously a reflection of ourselves. Honesty, fairness, integrity are greatly overused words, but the principles they stand for were critical in our being able to do our jobs correctly. Bill and I often dealt with people amid significantly personal and life-altering crises. People needed to trust that we would do right by them. Second, because we're human, we make mistakes and errors in judgment. We make decisions every day and use our discretion. These actions can have a huge effect on people. So when we realize that we made a mistake, we've got to be willing to admit it and do the best we can to correct it. Third, how we do something is often much more important than what we actually do. The process is just as important and often more important than the outcome. This includes sincerely listening to people and not just waiting for them to pause for a breath so you can inflict your views upon them. I have been guilty of that, I have to admit. Finally, you need to pass the daily reflection test, but a couple minutes more on that. As mentioned, honesty, fairness, and integrity are clearly overused words, but the principles they stand for in our dealings with the folks that we share this small planet with can never be underestimated. I believe that integrity is the most important of these three, as honesty and fairness should flow from being recognized as a person's integrity. But this word must be more than something found in a code of conduct or a mission statement. It needs to be a controlling part of our basic character. If you are a person of integrity, you won't need to be concerned with the moral compass being set in the right direction. Your primary concern will be if you have the courage to consistently walk that path. Second point, we're human, we make mistakes. What distinguishes one person from another is how we handle our mistakes. Do we shrug them off with, oh, well, nobody's perfect, or do we admit the mistake, acknowledge it to others, correct the situation, and learn from it? There are some who would insist that to acknowledge and apologize for an error is to show weakness. I feel just the opposite. The fact that we can acknowledge and sincerely apologize for our mistakes and do what we can do to mitigate the results has a direct correlation to my first point, integrity. Very simple. When you foul up, admit it. Say you're sorry, mitigate the effects, learn from it, and move on. Emphasis on the last part. You must move on. There will be many more decisions coming down the line, and learning from the past is critical. Living in the past and stop the absolute positivity in your tracks. Move on. Third, that how you do something is more important than what you actually do. From my perspective, having been a police officer, this is critical. Realize on a really good day, like today, low heels, I'm 5'8", okay? I'm not a big guy. Now, it might be a little more weighty now than it was 30 years ago, but whatever. The point being, I couldn't wrestle around with everyone I met in an adverse situation. It wasn't going to go well. Not for me, and not for the other person. I learned early on that I needed to establish some type of relationship with the individual very quickly. But this came down to was truly listening to the person. Most often the folks who are the angriest are the ones who are the most frustrated. Very often the frustration came because no one was making an effort to listen. And I'm not going to try and convince you that this worked all the time. It didn't. But often enough it did. You cannot change what's happening in any person's life, but treating people with some understanding and compassion may result in positive outcomes that you just never expected. There are many important police training topics taught today, but I think more emphasis on teaching de-escalation skills and listening skills would reap huge benefits for the officers and our society in general. Finally, now here's the word you've been waiting for. Finally, big word. What is this reflection test? It's really quite simple. At the end of the day, reflect deep within yourself. And I mean deep. Are you pleased with what you see? And I don't mean just contempt. I truly mean pleased. Have you done all you could do to help another? Did you treat people with decency and respect? Did you do that extra something that you didn't have to do? And the cliche, did you do the right thing even though nobody was looking? That comes from something. Did you treat the most difficult person you met as though they were the most wonderful person you met? I'll tell you, I did not always pass that test. Nobody does. However, if you go about your lives treating others with decency, respect, compassion, and embracing the diversity of those we share this small planet with, then you will be pleased with what you see. Take care, be safe, enjoy your life. Really, have a blast. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations, Chief Meany and Chief Kingsbury. So what we have here, this is familiar to you, in our hallway right outside the gymnasium is our hall of excellence. And when you pass by, you will see plaques of alums who have been inducted. And a replica of these plaques are in the hallway right now, so they will remain in the hallway forever. But it's my pleasure to present both Chief Kingsbury and Chief Meany with one for them to take home. So again, a round of applause for once again, a round of applause for our inductees. At this time, I'd like to recognize our senior honor essayists. These two students are in the top 10% of their class. They went through a rigorous application process, which included submission of their work, 3 letters of reference, and a presentation to a faculty committee. On Saturday, they will read their essays during our graduation ceremony. Please join me in congratulating our honor essayists for this year, Audrey Callahan and Jack O'Sullivan. I also want to recognize our senior speaker. As you know, all seniors have the opportunity to submit a speech to be read at graduation, and there were a number of students who submitted work. Please join me in congratulating Megan Colleran as our chosen senior speaker. This year, one member of our community will be retiring. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Mrs. Carrie Fry. So I want to take this opportunity to thank Mrs. Craw for her work and commitment and service to the town of Medfield. Mrs. Craw has served as a speech and language therapist for the past 23 years. Carrie, we are grateful for the passion and care you've shown our students over the years, We wish you well in retirement and thank you for all you've done. Congratulations. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our math department specialist, as well as student government advisor, Ms. Justin.
I want to welcome your class advisors as well, so Ms. Lodge and Ms. Berkeley. Congratulations to the class of 2023. Senior SUCO reps, and especially the officers, you are the leaders and role models for our council. It has been a pleasure to work with you and to watch you grow as leaders over the past 4 years. You've certainly left your mark on Medfield High School, and our SUCO family will miss you next year. At this time, we will call you up to be recognized.
Please hold your applause until the end. Hannah Boyd, Johanna Bruslin, Grace Busco, Katie Chen, Megan Colleran, Nino DeFigurito, Scarlett Kohler, Aiden Lindgren, Joe McDonald, Julia Nardelli, and Jacqueline Sullivan. And next, your student council officers, public relations, Casey Vignan, historian, Molly Dunman, representative to the school committee, Lily Keith, treasurer, Kate Frankel, secretary, Emily Hollander, vice president, Jessica Letty, and president, Elizabeth Pansiak. Your class officers have been working on organizing fun and memorable events for the class of 2023, as well as fundraising to reduce the cost of these events. The officers have been responsible for events like last year's prom, the senior cruise in the fall, the event on the turf on the last day of classes, and tonight's gathering at lunch. So now we would like to recognize these officers for their hard work and dedication to the class of 2023.
Your representative to the school committee, as well as student council representative, Gabby Curley. Treasurer, Emily Morgan. Oh, sorry, that's wrong. Treasurer, Madeline Lee, sorry. Secretary, Emily Morgan. Vice President and Student Council Representative, Michaela Matthews. And your senior class president, Marilyn Tyre. And next, Kate Jones will come up and present the art members.
Each year, awards are given for excellence in the field of visual art. These artists have shown amazing commitment and seriousness of purpose to our program throughout their 4 years of high school. It is with great pleasure that I announce this year's recipients of the Excellence in Art Award, Andrea Cavachon and Zoe Whalen.
Art Education Association Emerging Artist Award is given to students who have participated in a highly competitive statewide juried show of high school students in Massachusetts. This year's MAEA awards also go to Andrea Cavachon and Zoe Wayland. The National Art Education Association Award is given to National Art Honor Society members who have been chosen for an annual showcase of student work. This year's NAEA awards go to Kate Armstrong, Paulina Derivienko, Zoe Whalen, and Victor Walsh. The Steven Spielberg Video Award recognizes excellence in video production and digital media. This is awarded to a student who has demonstrated vision and commitment in photography and video. This year's recipient is Jack O'Sullivan. The Excellence in Ceramics Award goes to a student who has demonstrated a high level of technical skill and a sophisticated body of finished work in the medium of ceramics. This year's Excellence in Ceramics Award goes to Emily Shepard. And finally, the Ai Weiwei Art Historian Award goes to an art history student that demonstrates a global perspective on how art, architecture, and culture influence the past and informs the present. This year's recipient of the Ai Weiwei Art Historian Award goes to Lily Stevens. I'll now direct your attention to Beth Sancher from the English Department.
Congratulations, class of 2023. On behalf of the English Department, it is my pleasure to announce the following awards. The first award is for film theory. This student consistently showed a willingness not only to grasp and absorb course content, but also to give back their own understanding of it 100%. Their infectious enthusiasm for the material was reflected in their active involvement in all class discussions, in which she could always be relied on to bring conversations in a thoughtful and insightful direction. It is for these and many other reasons that the student receiving the Film Theory Award is Maya Betancourt. The next award is for the Literary Magazine. This year's recipient has regularly attended meetings and helped design the school's annual mag. The student has been a member of the organization all 4 years of their time at Medfield High School and has inspired others with their enthusiasm, care, and literary finesse. This award goes to Talia Tiara. The Yearbook Award. This senior went above and beyond yearbook class in the fall and signed up for yearbook independent study in the spring to help complete the main yearbook printed in March. She worked hard all year long. This year's recipient of the Yearbook Award is Lauren Bates. Speech Award. This senior exemplified exactly all the skills we hope to teach in speech. Courage, poise, clarity, and enthusiasm. She was a model for extraordinary speaking skills and an excellent example of being a supportive and encouraging audience member. It is my pleasure and privilege to recognize Doliani Villegas for Honours Writing Ceremony. With peer tutoring an important focus of HWS, this year's recipient exhibited exceptional abilities and forward thinking. Not only was he a careful, considerate, and thoughtful peer tutor and editor, he offered excellent suggestions on extended outreach. This year's recipient of the HWS Award is David Hong. Building Bridges. The goal of our Building Bridges class is to introduce students to writers from varied walks of life in hopes of helping us understand we are more alike than we are different. This senior embodied not only a love of books and reading, but an appreciation for all people and all stories. It is my pleasure to recognize Lily Tracy for her and finally, the English Award. When the department met to discuss who should be the recipient of this year's English Award, two names stood out. Throughout the past 4 years, these two students have worked diligently, showed curiosity, and their English teachers always appreciated how they elevated the classroom dynamic. I am pleased to present this year's English Award to Marissa McKay and Jasper Fuller.
Hi, I'm Carrie Powell. I'm the library department chair. I'm not on the program, so don't be confused. I'm here because I'm excited to present a new award. It's called the Susan Pope Art of the Library Award. This award is named after Susan Pope, an inspirational librarian who lived and taught in Medfield for over 30 years. Susan's love for literature and passion for teaching inspired generations of students to come, lifelong readers. Susan battled breast cancer valiantly for 3 years before passing away in 2009. With permission from Susan's family, this award will be given annually as a beautiful reminder of her and the incredible legacy she left behind in the Medfield Public Schools. The first student I would like to recognize is a true advocate for books and libraries. Thank you to Talia Tayera for bravely understanding the power of books. And the second student I'd like to recognize understands the power of words. I cannot wait to buy all of her books in the near future. Thank you to Jaliani Villegas for sharing your story with us. Okay, next I would like to introduce the head of the math department, Jess Safer.
Congratulations again. On behalf of the math department, I would like to present the following awards. New England Mather. In second place, Brandon Knapp, and in first place, Kenny Manning. The Mathematical Association of America American Math Competition, AMC. In third place, Kenny Manning. Second place, Marshall Shaw. And first place, Jay Franklin. And the Excellence in Math Award, which is voted on by the department, goes to two students, Ava Blake and Jay Franklin. And next up, I'll have Jason Bielek of the music department.
The National Chorus Award is given to a student who is an exemplary leader and student musician in their whole program, and this year the recipient is Patrick Bradley. Similarly, the National Orchestra Award is given to an exceptional student leader in their orchestra program. This year's recipient is Praneet Shah. The Louis Armstrong Award is given to exceptional students in their jazz programs, and we have two recipients this year, and they are Jack Brassel and Nikhil Burgess. The John Philip Sousa Award is given to a student who is an outstanding leader and musician in their concert band program, and this year's recipient is Chris Sullivan. I'd like to bring up Mrs. Olaberry, Science Department.
It gives me great pleasure on behalf of the Science Department to present a number of awards to members of the graduating class. The students chosen were selected by their respective teachers because of their performance and drive for academic excellence in a particular discipline. The selected Engineering 2 student, Preet Shaw, was described as highly motivated, confident, and extremely confident by Mr. Brown. Congratulations, Preet. The award for excellence in anatomy and physiology is going to Rahul Kumar, who was described as a dedicated student with an exceptional work ethic, who is also highly supportive of other students in the class. Students are also selected from the AP Science classes. This year's AP Physics Award goes to a student who shows initiative, sees the connections between ideas, and is a very effective collaborator, Ava Blake. For AP Environmental Science, a student with passion for the environment and an excellent work ethic was selected. That student is Elizabeth Stevens. Julia Nardelli is our AP Bio Award recipient, a consistent and dedicated student who demonstrated significant conceptual understanding and an outstanding work ethic. Congratulations, Julia. I would also like to take a moment to present the following certificates of merit from the Society of Women Engineers of Boston. To be a recipient of this award, a student must have completed a minimum of 3 years of science and math with distinction. This year's recipients are Lily Stevens, Shay Woolley, and Zoe Zielinski. And now I will turn the mic over to Kathleen Emerson, representing the Social Studies Department.
Good morning and congratulations. The Richard Disorder Active Citizen Award is given to a student who, as Richard said, in the words of Thomas Jefferson, has lent his or her talents to the community as an active citizen. Mr. Disorder typifies this quality. This year's honoree also exemplifies Jefferson's vision. Passionate about government and politics, this student excelled in the AP US Government and Politics course. As her senior project, this student organized a voter registration drive and enrolled dozens of MHS students and staff. She is truly inspiring. The 2023 Richard Disorder Active Citizen Award is given to Julianne Holmes. The Gary Stockbridge Global Citizenship Award is given to the senior who best exemplifies the values demonstrated by Mr. Stockbridge, a longtime MHS faculty member, a concern for and connection to issues facing the global community. This year's honoree is described by teachers as empathetic, passionate, knowledgeable, and concerned about marginalized peoples throughout the world. As her U.S. history teacher, I'd love to hear her insightful comments when discussing inequities in society and the world. This year, the Social Studies Department is pleased and proud to honor Hannah Boyd. The Social Studies Award is given to the student who has excelled in or is incredibly passionate about history and the humanities. This student's knowledge and interest in the subject is without parallel. Teachers have stated that this student asks questions of the deepest level and makes connections between themes and events at a level not normally seen in high school. His analytical writing in history is exemplary. He, quote, learns for the love of learning. For these reasons and more, the Social Studies Department unanimously chose to give our highest award to Tay Frankel. And now please welcome Mrs. Mary Fitzgerald of the Wellness Department.
It is an honor to present today the 2023 Senior Wellness Department Awards. The 3 award recipients who have been chosen by the entire Wellness Department have gone above and beyond consistently in demonstrating leadership, kindness, and sportspersonship in their health, physical education, and athletic training classes. The 3 award recipients, the first 2 will be recognized for their outstanding participation in wellness, and the third for their outstanding participation in athletic training. Please join me in congratulating Andrew Ladd, Michaela Matthews, and Frank Shaw. Joyce Tubman, who will present the World Languages and Cultures Awards.
Good morning. I will begin our presentation of the World Language Awards this morning with certificates of recognition for the National Latin Exam. About 150,000 students participate each year from all 50 states and more than 10 foreign countries. The philosophy of the National Latin Exam is predicated on providing every Latin student the opportunity to experience a sense of personal accomplishment and success in their study of the Latin language and culture. Today we are going to recognize our seniors who scored and will recognize through the National Latin Exam Association. In Latin 2, cum laude, Lauren Foster. And also in Latin 2, maxima cum laude with a silver medal, Jillian Crouch. Congratulations. In Latin 4, magna cum laude, Ryan Dolan and Lee Ferris. And in Latin 4, maxima cum laude with the silver medal, Patrick Brennan, Michaela Matthews, and Jack O'Sullivan. And Latin 4, summa cum laude with the gold medal, Joseph McDonald, Anna Scheck, and Laura Wilson. The next group of seniors that I'd like to recognize this morning are those 19 seniors who will graduate with the Massachusetts State Seal of Biliteracy. I'm going to ask these seniors to stand at their seats and be recognized with a round of applause at the end of the list. The State Seal of Biliteracy was passed into law in Massachusetts in 2017. Medfield opted into the program at the end of 2019, and we have awarded the State Seal to several seniors every year. This is no small feat. The seal appears on your transcript, and the seal is an official declaration by the state that those students have attained an intermediate high level of proficiency in English and at least one other language. The competency level is high, and the purpose is for individuals to be able to attain skills that are often necessary to succeed in multilingual, post-secondary academic professional settings. This year, we recognize the following seniors: Hannah Boyd, Spanish; Patrick Brennan, Latin with distinction; Johanna Bruslin, Spanish; Maya de Betancourt, Spanish; Niñez de Figueredo, Spanish and Portuguese; Molly Donovan, Spanish; Jasper Fuller, Spanish with distinction; Gabriella Keegan, Lithuanian; Rahul Kumar, Spanish; Les Lenger, Spanish; Joseph McDonald, Latin with distinction; Taze Nakao, Portuguese; Jack O'Sullivan, Latin with distinction and Spanish; Leandro Romo, Spanish; Lily Saab, Spanish; Hector Saraiva, Spanish and Portuguese; Kimberly Vasquez, Spanish; Victor Walsh, Spanish; and Laura Wilson, Latin. Congratulations. As a department, we would like to recognize several seniors for their excellence in individual languages. First, in French language, Lauren Bate has excelled in French class in all 4 years. This past April, she showcased her talent in French and her ability to adapt to new situations on the France trip. She also is one of the French National Honor Society leaders. Elizabeth Stevens also served as one of the French National Honor Society leaders, as well as the French Club president. She did an exchange last summer in France and shared many connections between that experience and the topics we discussed in class. Lily has become the student expert in all things French. Congratulations, Lauren and Lily. You can come up for your award. Lauren and Lily. Next is Mandarin Chinese. Tay Frendel is diligent and a hard worker. He always shows enthusiasm for the Mandarin language. Gabriella Pekin devoted herself to study with perseverance and concentration. She showed her love of language and pursuit of knowledge. Congratulations to Tay and Gabriella. Hannah Boyd is a student who is always listening and thinking and willing to offer insightful comments. Her achievement in the study of Spanish is remarkable. Maya Betancourt demonstrated interest and willingness to contribute to class discussions and always raised the level of conversation. Congratulations, Hannah and Maya. Our last department award is an award that's it's not awarded every year, but it's awarded when a student merits this honor. We renamed this award about a decade ago, I think it is now, after Paul Brummer, who was a former French teacher here at Medfield High School and adored by all. This award is given for excellence in multiple languages, and it's given to the department for a student who is deserving and has demonstrated a high level of proficiency in more than one language besides English, and has demonstrated a passion for learning about languages and other cultures. This year, we recognize Jack O'Sullivan, who excelled in both Spanish and Latin throughout high school, and earned the seal of biliteracy in both languages. He is a true lover of languages and witnessed in one of his short films by the same name. He is a student who embodies passion and compassion, much like the person for whom this award is named, our beloved former French teacher, Paul Brummer. And I'd now like to introduce Mary Garcia with the Humanitas Award.
The Humanitas Award was created in 2015 to recognize students who practice some of Medfield High School's most important core values, kindness and character. In 2020, with the approval of his family, we decided to rename this award the John Panciaca Humanitas Award in honor of our beloved teacher, colleague, and friend, who made every classroom and hallway he walked in a warmer and brighter place. You are the class whose first year of high school was cut short by the pandemic, and our return to school, masked and hybrid, was challenging in many ways, not the least of which was the difficulty in establishing connections when we were told to keep apart. That's why this award matters more than ever. We had 9 finalists this year, nominated by staff who observed them practicing authentic kindness and inclusion toward their peers. They are the students who, just like Mr. P, ask others to join their group or their cat team, who seek to make everyone feel welcome. Out of this excellent group, We felt one student stood apart for their open-hearted support for their classmates. I am so pleased to announce that this year's recipient is Julian Hall. Before I introduce the students who are bringing the class gift, I'd like the following students to please make sure you see me after the ceremony. Hannah Boyd, Maya de Betancourt, Hannah Ross, Elizabeth Panciaco, April Saraiva, James Tyre, Marilyn Tyre, and Jollian Villegas.
Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Marilyn Tyre, and I've had the privilege of being the class of 2023 class president for the past 4 years. And today I have the honor of announcing this year's senior class gift, which was decided upon in collaboration with my fellow student government officers, Vice President Taylor Matthews, Treasurer Maddie Lee, Secretary Emily Morgan, and Representative to School Committee Gabby Crow. We believe the class of 2023 is a special group of individuals. Many teachers throughout the district have commented on our kindness, our open minds, and our desire to help those around us. In the spirit of this nature, we proudly present our senior gift, the Class of 2023 Financial Support Fund. When students at our school are facing financial obstacles that might impede their participation in various enriching activities, such as field trips or social events, they can apply for assistance through this fund, ensuring that no student is deprived of a remarkable high school experience. Our student government has gathered nearly $3,000 through fundraising efforts, which we hope will be a solid foundation. We encourage future senior classes to consider adding to its growth. We believe that every student has the right to an incredible high school experience, and we're so happy to be able to facilitate that. Finally, we would like to express our gratitude to the Class of 2023 advisors, Mrs. Lodge and Mrs. Whitley. These two women have supported not only us as the student government, but the whole grade and the entire school. They have been incredible role models of leadership and commitment. We feel so lucky to have worked with them over the past 3 years. So we want to welcome them up for a little gift.
Hello everyone, my name is Mrs. Brown, and I am the MHS Yearbook Advisor. Congrats to the class of 2023. During the fall, I worked with a staff of about 20 juniors and seniors. This past spring, I continued working with 4 of those students, and they stayed on through the independent study to help finish the main yearbook as well as the spring supplement. The yearbook staff worked well together. They brainstormed ideas and voted on everything from the theme and cover design to the colors and fonts on the interior pages. They had fun while also meeting Jocelyn's deadlines throughout the school year. I'm pleased to present their finished product, the Ride of Our Lives yearbook. Huge thanks to Lauren B., who worked on the yearbook from August to May. She even came in last week to help put the spring supplements in the back of the yearbooks. Huge thanks also to the teachers who helped me distribute prepaid yearbook orders to seniors yesterday after graduation rehearsal. For you underclassmen out there in the audience, I will be distributing your prepaid yearbook orders on Monday in the cafeteria during all lunches. Please come up to me so that I can check for your name on the order list, as you'd be surprised how many students don't realize their families ordered yearbooks for them. I will also be selling any remaining copies to those who are on the Jocelyn's waiting list. Thank you so much.
Inspiration Award will distinguish a member of the Medfield High School staff that has an exceptional ability to inspire, motivate, and encourage students. This staff member should also exemplify the mission statement, core values, and MHS vision of the graduate. The Medfield PTO asked the class of 2023 to carefully consider and vote on any staff member who had most positively affected each of their high school careers. A committee of selected students evaluated every single response to decide on a staff member who wins this award. Along with having their name added to a plaque of past winners, the staff member will also receive a check to use for their classroom and a personal check.
As we review the comments and votes, it was clear to see that this staff member has a huge impact on their students. This teacher always stays engaging and connected, teaching skills like how to emphasize and form opinions. This teacher always stressed how important it is to have meaningful, complex discussions and conversations in the classroom. Not only is this teacher one of the best and most thoughtful teachers in the school, they also befriend and form personal relationships and act as long-term mentors for their students. It is clear that this teacher genuinely cares about every single student that they have.
To quote a member of our class, sometimes I leave his class with my head spinning, but that's what we're there for. He makes students think until we question everything about ourselves, but in the progress, we find ourselves. There is not one class where he doesn't engage his students to think, ask questions, and leave new ideas. His classes spark serious conversations on topics that need to be discussed with our generation. Students in his classes tend to be pushed to unlock hidden potentials they do not know they have. He knows when to give students the extra push or when to ease off of them. He strives for the willingness of students to find their own passion and supports every one of them by fostering the skills to create a safe haven for those that need it. The supportive environment he brings allows us to be our normal selves, which is something every student will carry with them for a lifetime.
The class of 2023 had a peculiar high school experience, taking half of our classes through Zoom in a hybrid structure. Even during those times, when the most that many students would do was connect to Zoom in bed with their cameras off, this teacher never quit being engaged. He was present on Zoom each and every day. Whether he had on a big robe or a hamster backdrop, he was there. During a time when teaching could be one of the least rewarding jobs, he never for 1 second stopped inspiring. Through the screen, during quiet hybrid classes, or through a wonderfully quirky mask design. While back inside these halls after the pandemic, multiple students commented that this teacher gave them a home, something you don't always hear in the same sentence at school. I can definitely agree that entering this classroom, I knew every time that judgment simply does not exist. It was a place to let your guard down, to know that whatever you're able to bring to the table that day is enough. To be reminded that, as important as English class is, your mental health is the top priority. You could walk into this classroom feeling so down in the dumps, and you'll either leave with a newfound sense of value or with a reminder that it's okay to have a bad day. Outside of these various lessons on how to accept yourself, accept your quirks, and more importantly, learn to love them, I can't forget all of the lessons that he taught us about his own subject, English. He always told us that honesty is the most important key to good writing, and I honestly think that there is no better person to receive the 2023 Inspiration Award than the one and only Mr. Reynolds.
Oh God, people are being nice to me. Those who have seen me do public speaking recognize that the trigger of my flight or different flight response, the second being the same as the first, but less cute. But I told Nora I would steal her water, so I figured I could say at least one sentence. And being able to show people that you love and hear and appreciate them is the best gift that we give to them and ourselves, and I thank you for letting me feel that way.
Thank you, and once again, a round of applause for all our seniors and our Class Day ceremony has ended. I want to ask that the juniors and guests please remain seated until our seniors have processed out. Once again, thank you very much. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you.